to the coach when you talk about boots.
I wore screw-ins every week. That's why I'm big on them. You look at those screw-ins, and they were brand new. I don't know what player it was, but they were spankers. Don't worry about that.
All I can say is they're thick if they can't get it through, Jono, and you fit into that category as well. So just basic common sense, I would have thought.
Walk out, ground's wet, put the stops on.
Canelli is able to brush off DeBoer and control here now in the hands of Nick Smith. Good quarter of football seen in the first.
Yeah, this is what we need to see more of, probably from both sides. Just switching the play, moving the opposition around, particularly with the zone setups and the presses now. Ball gets to the other side, and you've got to get that into the forward line quickly. Probably Johnson just spent too much time running and trying to make a decision while he's running with the football rather than getting it out there quickly.
Broughton, a nicely measured kick to Mazungu. Mazungu just backs up. And we'll check the distance here.
At 5-3 on the other side of the ground, Mumford's just going to pick him up there. But
crowd behind him look on anxiously as Mazungu starts his approach from the perimeter piping. 51 metres out, he got every bit of it, still not enough. 5-4 deep, couldn't quite get over the top. And off hands, here's Richards. Kick wasn't what it should have been.
I think he was half hoping that, BT, that it would trickle out of play because, as we mentioned, as Kingy mentioned at quarter time, this area of the game at the moment, the stoppages, is where they're dominant.
Last hands by Jack to Mumford. Mumford got it back inside, running through nicely. Matner. Sydney away. White dropped the chest mark. The enigmatic right around the corner. High ball on the head of Reed. Got a stand and deliver with Silvani. The knockdown, Hill gathers, looking for the give and go. Shaw's all over him, couldn't go with him. He knew what damage Hill could do then, Shaw, but he just couldn't quite go with him. Ballantyne stuck his head over the ball and withdrew it just at the right time, otherwise he wouldn't have had one. Here now is Hill. Popeye himself, Ballantyne, full of spinach normally. Got it to Broughton. Broughton goes inboard. Kick down low, Johnson on the lead, taken away by White. Marty Matner with a chiselling little ball to Goods. Goods has got Roberts-Thompson on, ignores that. Now he goes to that duel. It was all too late though. McFarlane and Hayden had it covered. Long handball, Griffin. Standing start, just get it out of my area. Here comes Ballantyne over the back, but stood tall to Alex Johnson. Takes him on the foot race, delivers a bit of a gyrocopter forward, horrible spinning ball. McFarlane clobbered in the O'Keefe tackle. Out the back, Roberts-Thompson. McGlynn if he gets a good bounce. Hayden, McGlynn again. Bit of a suplex type tackle. Eventually the ball spills out to Hill. Pavlich in front, trying to impose his body. Really clever play with a tap out then. Fife finally got it to the waiting Griffin. Back inside to Pavlich. He's got another runner further inside. He says, come over and shepherd. I'm the star here. Let me go. 2 bounces and a nice kick, ending with the ball.
Yeah, good composure from Pavlich. And he really summed that situation up well there. He saw Mumford was chasing. Mummy's a good athlete for a big fella, but he summed that really well. Rather than blazing away, he obviously, I think Canelli came off to get into the dangerous area, and Pavlich a really nice kick off the outside of his foot, hit DeBoer.
DeBoer lines up here. First goal of the second quarter on offer from a set shot. Very straight with his action, and he's nice as well. He liked it. He pointed to Pavlich in the middle and said, well done, mate.
Yeah, well, as you said, it was great play, especially by Fife down low here. Won 3 or 4 balls, kept coming back to him in the contest. Finally got it out to Griffin, who was waiting on the outside. Then Pavlich came with the run. Called Broughton back to block, which was the right play. And then DeBoer finishes with a good goal, and he'd be pretty happy with that, considering he's generally playing a negative type role on Canelli, trying to stop his run, to then score going back the other way. He'll get some confidence out of that.
Matty DeBoer getting just his 3rd goal of the year. Some guys in some uncustomary roles here today. You see Hill playing deep in defence and De Boer playing forward a little. Here's Ballantyne got a high tackle. It's sort of hard not to get him high. He's very small in stature. Little kick and pulled it nicely and found Broughton.
Well, their last 2 kicks inside 50 have been a lot better for our. I mentioned the first quarter. Both sides were having trouble hitting targets going into their forward 50. But I've really liked Pavlich's kick there, and I think it was Ballantyne's. Sorry, Pavlich's kick before and Ballantyne's kick there.
Yeah, nice control on them, wasn't there? Bit of ink work on the left arm there from Broughton. Comes in again. Fremantle looking for consecutive goals. Has not happened in the game for either side so far. High ball will fall short. Mumford concedes the behind. Another one out of the bag there. Kennelly in quick style moves it forward. And the umpire said Hill took the ball over the line.
It's always been a difficult art, Jono, but it's so hard now to kick in, isn't it? I mean, there's not much space with this forward press. Yeah, good. Got to be a good call from the boundary umpire there, but it's a tough job kicking in.
It's very, very tough. I certainly.
Well, it is, but I look
at hand up to take that job on.
Look at Leon Davis's stats over the weekend, Ruzi, and I see that he's had 75 consecutive non-turnover kick-ins. Amazing stat.
It is an amazing
100%
stat.
record.
Yeah, look, it's an amazing stat, and he's a beautiful low short kick, Davis, and obviously being a good decision maker helps as well.
100% there. Ballantyne caught in the tackle. He thought he was away. He backed his pace. Jack, little slipper kick along the ground. Fife. Mazungu's got the sit here, comes over the top, both hands on it. McPhee at the ground level. McVeigh did really well. Kennelly crashes in. De Boer somehow got it out. Under pressure here, Sydney. Careful, careful, careful here from a Sydney perspective.
It was a great effort by McVeigh then. It's been an interesting battle, Mazungu and McVeigh. You can see the great tackle there by Nick Smith. Probably you'd like that reward as a free kick. But McVeigh did well against the bigger player to bring that ball to ground.
Indeed he did. Look at the quick trick there. Johnson through the legs with some magical stuff. And Lower got the result behind. Let's have a look at the kick in and the setup here again. You get a really good look at it from this angle. You really got to have great poise and nerves to be able to control the emotion in these kick-ins, don't you? Tough gig.
It's a tough gig, and you're right, especially with the amount of numbers that are up the ground now, just taking all the space that you can kick into.
Hanbury, smooth left boot. Goods over the top, juggling attempt. Keeps it alive. Ran into Palmer. And Ray Chamberlain, what's he going to do here? Ball it up. Ball pinned to the player there. Over the top went Zach Clark. Off hands. Advanced forward. Fife. And McFarlane decide who's going to actually get possession of the ball. In the meantime, Brought went to ground with it. Now McGlynn, beautiful pick up by McGlynn. Fife back inside, Robertson. Risky kick, ball, long time in the air. Johnson able to be pushed under the ball by Grundy. The ball spent too long in the air there.
Yeah, it wasn't a great option from Robertson, was it? Just did hang in the air, BT, as you mentioned. Just probably the right kick, but it had to be a low dart going across rather than just a floating kick, which allowed Grundy just to set himself, maybe a slight nudge and take the mark.
Heath Grundy, kick at goal, and he's nailed that. Sydney fight back here within 2 points.
He's certainly a player early in his career, Jono, that went forward, so he wouldn't have worried too much about having that shot for goal. And that's the advance. Just Robertson here, as I said, not a bad option, but more the execution. And just a slight nudge, more to the shoulder than the back. And as I said, Grundy, being an ex-forward, would have loved to have had that shot at goal.
He kicked it to Johnson, didn't he? Rather than kicking it to try and get more distance in the space to run onto it.
Really good contest here. Not sure whether you guys are aware of this. 8 goals kicked collectively, and it has been goal for goal, Jono, all the way.
I was aware of that, BT, and thanks for pointing it out as well.
Thank you, Jono. Back in the middle of the ground. Really good contest brewing here. Sydney trying to extract it. And there'll be no winner in this one.
I think, BT, it's hard to see a team gapping at the moment, isn't it? You mentioned it is goal for goal, and it looks that sort of game because no one's really been able to gain any sort of momentum. Both teams are tackling well, winning contested football.
Down by Clark, brought through a bit of traffic, got a little bit of a poker on it. Palmer, he won't get the distance from there. Best man Twill, Ballantyne, ball smothered mid-air. Gather and go again. Lower, handball and hope. Palmer gets a nice bounce over the top. He knew someone was there, but he just couldn't get the strength on the ball. Melcheski, Loveby, under pressure handball. Likewise, O'Keefe now Shaw, the kicker. Good movement here from Sydney. McGlynn is forced to go back over the mark, though. Such is the defensive work by Fremantle. McGlynn again to the contest, high out wide. Reid set himself, off hands Parker. Plenty of time here, Parker. Like what he saw in the middle. Trapped it nicely, Mattner in the end on his wrong right side. Roberts Thompson dropped the mark. Almost went down his throat. McGlynn will get a free. Mazungu in the back.
That started from Luke Parker's kick. I noticed there Fife was actually playing off Marty Mattner, went straight back into the hole, Jono. Parker was going to kick it straight to that spot, but Fife would have gobbled it up. Wasn't a great kick to Marty Mattner, but at least it changed the angles and took Fife completely out of play. And as usual, Benny McGlynn's attack on the foot is just very, very good.
Well, you speak of Benny McGlynn. He was the one who took the mark at half-back, just outside defensive 50. Now he works down, follows the play, and gets a shot at goal because of his attack on the ball.
For the first of consecutive goals for either side, and for the first time, Sydney will hold a lead if McGlynn is successful. Directly in front, right on 50, struck it beautifully, but they trail by a point.
Ballantyne and McGlynn are pretty similar players like that, Jono. I mentioned earlier, I don't like Ballantyne being allowed to go up in the midfield. It's a little bit similar with McGlynn. He does that really well. And it's not so bad if they stay in the midfield, but those two players actually run back forward 50 and they can create goals.
Interested to know, Rosie, what you liked about McGlynn when obviously Hawthorn didn't like something about him.
Yeah, I like his ability. He's really quick, and I like his ability to get up the ground and get back. It's very hard to match up on.
Low ball here from Lower. Look at the kick to McPhee. Gave the handball a little early for Broughton. That allowed Melcheski to be able to cut him off in the angle.
The good thing about Melcheski then was he read the handball received straight away, which allowed him then to get over and put on that defensive pressure. Great smother out of play.
Nick Melcheski, 100th game today for those that have just joined us. 3 Ricos. Been a long time getting there. And a tough kick for him, but he's getting back near his best. Parker with a high ball on the head of the wee man McGlynn.
What Fremantle are trying to do now is either get a third man up at a stoppage or get a bit more distance on the hit so they can clear that immediate area, try and get it out in a bit of space.
Yeah, you're right, Jono. Zach Clark's the one here. As he tried to go the last one, Luke Parker blocked him, and he tried to go again, but the boundary throw was a bit short.
Gee, that's a great handball by Jack to Smith. Smith to the advantage of White. He kicked it exactly where White needed it, in my opinion. Probably should have gobbled it up, White, then. He allowed and gave way to the defender. That's a horrible kick, although Lower got on the end of it and made it look good. Once again, the ball hung in the air. Broughton went at it. Mattner missed contact with it. Ballantyne always clean below his knees. Took him on. Will he be penalised? Yes.
Yeah, really good tackle there, but that's a really difficult thing to do against a nippy little player like Ballantyne who tries to step you, but he just went at the body and tackled really nicely.
What about the vision there? The wee man McGlynn from the other side, giving the wee man from the Dockers a little mouthful. Ballantyne. Nice work, Ben McGlynn. Here's Mumford. In front, he was waiting for someone to come from behind.
You're right, he had a good look at Jesse Smith then, didn't he? Jesse White, sorry, and then didn't get to the contest to mark the ball.
9.5 minutes remain in the half here. David King catching up at half-time with Jude Bolton. Off hands. Griffin. Went without it. On that occasion, Melcheski, Hanbury trying to brush the tackle. Really good tackle. 3 on 2 here. Have a look at the numbers for the ball. Pavlich demands it. Over the top to Johnson. Johnson can get it inside to De Boer. De Boer can get it outside to Main. He said, yes, I will. Just draw the man first. Beautiful linking handball there for the Fremantle Dockers. And Main finishes with the goal.
started with a strong tackle off half-back from Ibbotson, and the defenders go to him right now to congratulate him. Great tackle on Hanbury, which then created the spoil. Then they had the overlap running. There's the tackle there, and away they go. Fremantle could see the chance that was about to come their way, and they all ran forward extremely hard and had that overlap the whole way through. And in a nice finish there by Mayne, who nearly could have gone over the top again to McPhee, but took it on himself to finish the goal.
Well, Mayne got the results of some great team play then from the Fremantle Dockers.
And that's not the sort of area you want to turn the ball over. Kieran Jack, just a quick kick out of stop. He just went to that really dangerous area at centre forward. Dangerous for the opposition. And we saw what happens at the SCG. It goes down the ground really quickly if you turn the ball over there.
Melcheski, Fife, out wide. Here's Palmer. Run down just as he went to kick it. Johnson kept it alive from Hill. Shaw had hold of him when he didn't have it. And Shaw's not happy. And he remonstrates. And Hill is certainly within distance here. Shaking his head in disbelief for his Shaw.
Well, initially looking at it, I thought he did a good job, because you could see the head collision was going to come. And I thought he just changed his tackle to make it look a bit more effective, but must have just clipped him high.
Stephen Hill, very straight run up for a left footer, and he bent it nicely, kept it low, and Fremantle have got consecutive goals.
Yeah, it's certainly a difficult tackle to make. You see a little bit of a, how do you do there?
Valentine straight into it.
But yeah, it'd be frustrating for sure, because he's done a good job on Hill at this stage. Really difficult tackle to make. Bit of a hard angle for us to see from there, but once the player's got his head over the ball, it is tough to do. It did look from where we were, it was a reasonable attempt, but again, we were blindside. The umpire had a better view than us.
Hayden Ballantyne just scruffing things up there. First time consecutive goals in the game for Fremantle. They lead it by a game-high margin of 13 points. There's Johnny Blakey, John Longmire. By the way, I saw these two guys before the game today having a coffee at a takeaway coffee shop. They ordered takeaway cups when they sat inside. I reckon they might have been short of the 50 cents each.
No, they do that consistently, those boys. I don't know why. They don't like the fine china, the boys from North Melbourne.
They refused to pay the sit-down cost of the coffee and went the takeaway, and then milked the coffee shop for their chairs and tables. Unbelievable behaviour from two senior men.
Very regular occurrence, BT, I can assure you.
Yeah, interesting. McGlynn goes wide. Seems to be a common occurrence amongst coaches, full stop.
Brian, I think you'll notice that John Blakey brings his own takeaway cup just to save a further 50 cents.
Oh, it's a cuddle cup.
Yeah, and this is true. We did see them in a little coffee shop just outside the SCG here before the game, a couple of hours before. Jonathan Griffin. Mumford just manhandling him out of the way to Kennedy. To the top of the square, Roberts Thompson, the danger here over the back it goes. Finds the boundary line, so the margin's out to 13.
And they can be dangerous here. Really nice hit there by Mumford, straight down to Kennedy. Just look for maybe a Lewis Roberts Thompson going to a Goodsey on the fly or someone like that.
Shepherd be a Fremantle ball.
Just watch those last few inside 50s for Sydney, Roosie. I think this game's waiting for a Jesse White to really rear up and catch a couple of opportunities, because he really hasn't offered a lot so far, and it's there for him.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's probably a little bit of the frustration with Jesse. He's a really good athlete, and he can take a mark, but he just has a little bit of trouble reading the ball from the midfielders. Certainly, it doesn't look like they're going to be hitting too many targets inside 50, so someone to clunk a big contested mark would be handy for the Swans.
Fife, the leading possession getter on the ground with 18 pieces of the leather. Here is Mazungu. Long way from home. Goes inside 50 looking for Johnson at the back. Richards.
He's such a versatile player, Fife, BT.
Yeah.
Like, he's been forward, he's been in the centre bounces, he's been on the wing, he's floated across half-back. And that's the reason he's such a prolific ball winner, because he knows where to go and he can play him. He's very hard to shut down because he plays so many different roles, and he's such a smart player.
Of his 18, 13 contested possessions. Fife. Outstanding.
Well, Sydney will be looking to get Adam Goods and O'Keefe into this contest in this quarter so far, BT. One possession each.
One-handed pick up for De Boer. Gave it to Ballantyne, who's been caught a couple of times here today. Not through lack of endeavour. Make someone pay by a deliberate leg trip then. O'Keefe comes on.
Yeah, it's a good point. You got O'Keefe, that's his first kick for the quarter, and not a great one. And we're just trying to get those really important senior players into the game.
Roger Hayden, high ball. Main sets himself, elevates over the top. Johnson, third man up. Jack slung in the tackle, Broughton around, but the boundary umpire said just went over the line.
Really struggling to get possession chains going and some real fluency, the Swans.
Now, Sydney player down here, King. You can't see who that is, can you?
It's Marty Matner.
Yeah, Matner. Yeah.
So now he hasn't moved at all. Trainer is there. Let's have a look. He's in front of the pack here. Oh, he got a knee to the side of the head and was immediately knocked out before he even hit the deck. Now, this is going to... The game won't go on here. That is a big hit to the head. Let's hope that he's okay. Gee.
Yeah, that's a big hit.
He's an incredibly courageous player, Marty Matner. Does that really, really well. He's got good... He reads the play so well. Sometimes when you do that, you do put yourself in vulnerable positions. You've got good courage, backs back. And look, that's just a great contest from Maine, but right in the back of the melon.
It was just flush the knee, wasn't it?
Oh, he's looking very uneasy, King, as he comes towards you on his feet, isn't he?
Oh, he doesn't look well at all, Brian. It's a sad sight to see, but just true to the courage of the Sydney Swans as a brand, Marty Matner, it was his turn and he stood up for the team. They'll get real lift out of this, Sydney.
Lewis Jetta waiting to come on there. He's the substitute. I don't think it'll be activated. They'll give him 10 or 15 minutes to recover.
I think also BT just before half-time probably gives him a little bit of a breather, keep him off and then just check him at half-time.
Yeah, 6 minutes isn't going to matter, is it? So it's better to be safe than sorry. Richards with a high one there.
In saying that, boys, I think this game is crying out for a Jetta to get involved and really open it up with some run and carry.
How early do you take that risk, though, Kingy?
I'd do it now, Brian. He's just walking past me now, Marty Matner. He just does not look right at all.
Yeah, well, they can recover quickly, but we'll see. More conservative approach to concussions this year. We don't know whether that is a concussion or whether it's just a stunning situation, blower.
I think the big thing that Swans will want to address at half-time is their ball use. Just talking about going forward, they've just slaughtered the footy a few too many times, and Freo have really just taken a few more of their chances early in this quarter with some nice kicks inside 50.
Fife again, almost gobbled that up. Geez, good overhead, this young kid here. You can see just warming up in the background there. Barlow with the green vest on as well. He hasn't played for 3 weeks, plus the bye, so nearly 4 weeks. Ease him back in. Of course, he only played 1 game back from that horrific broken leg in the seniors. Played 1 in the Bill Thunder reserves too, I think. Might have been 2 actually. Malcheski thrown over the ground by Maine. Now the umpire's paid a sling there, is he?
I think he's played holding the ball.
Holding the ball, he has. Maine.
Malcheski was trying to make an attempt to get rid of it, though.
And Ray just said there he's got to make a genuine attempt. So he obviously didn't believe the attempt was genuine. Look at the fans on the fence. Just a bit of advice. Right in front of the members. Very noisy members area. Maine within range here. Tough kick. It's left to right. He's tweaked it out of bounds on the full.
He's taking it no prior.
I reckon he was having a little dabble at it. Bit unlucky. No harm done. Difficult kicking here for Sydney. All they can do is get it long and deep for the target. McFarlane, lovely pack mark. So Fremantle just starting to own a bit of the footy at the moment. Silvani. McFarlane again. Everyone forward of where the ball is at the moment from both sides. Kick broken up by Parker.
You speak about owning the ball, BT. 12 inside 50s to 6 this quarter, Fremantle's way.
I reckon a good proportion of those 12 would have been in the recent, say, 15 minutes.
Definitely.
Goods, Kennedy. Through the middle, unloads with a long ball. Reid does the body work with Grover. Did well to force the contest. Clark, the front and centre player. Unlikely, but he did it nicely. Brought in the handball. Down lower. Left footer around the corner. Too much height for Palmer. Got to go back and contest. Smith over the top. And taken over in the aggressive tackle by Smith was Palmer.
The other area that coaches love, Bruzy, is tackles inside forward 50, and Fremantle had 7-1 this quarter, keeping it in there.
Yeah, Freya's press has been really, really good, and they've just been...
Roberts-Thompson kick here. No, a hold before the Roberts-Thompson's contact to Clark.
Well, Razor's certainly making his presence felt at the moment, BT.
Have a look at the players. Let's see if we can listen to Goods. Talking.
That's okay, Adam. Can you tell me which one in particular you've got a problem with?
So Ray just asking Adam, can you tell me which decision you actually have a problem with? I love the answers. You've got to be able to talk to the umpires, and I don't mind them having a bit of a chat. Good on you. Razor Ray Chamberlain. Clark comes in and kicks the goal. 3 in a row for the Dockers.
And is that his first goal in league footy?
It is. That is his first goal in league footy, Jono. Well done. Zach Clark.
I've been waiting for this replay to come about, just so we could see what the...
Oh, yeah, just at the end.
Right at the end.
Almost accidental, but it happened.
The crowd just seen it on the scoreboard as well, Ruzy. And I think their reaction said it all.
Zach Clark gets his first goal in the big time. Big boy Zach has been playing for 14 games, and he's finally got one. I'm not sure his teammates realised he'd got it either, because they were very underwhelming in their high-fiving. It was Jack. I like to read really good hands. Farland. Gotta love the look of Reid. He's got incredible potential. Young. Here's Kieran Jack on his favoured left side. Difficult angle. In a time of great need for Sydney.
There's a bit more urgency in the play then for the Swans. I think it was Adam Goods got the ball out of the centre bounce with a quick kick, and we saw Reid a really good contest against McFarlane. Then Dan Hanbury got involved with a handball, and Kieran Jack was in that centre bounce, I believe, and then really followed. Had one possession here, kicked it out, good contest, and then followed it up. Here it is, Hanbury. You see Kieran Jack come in. Benny McGlynn really nice. Hanbury second possession, and there's Kieran Jack again. So just a little bit more urgency for the Swans.
Just under 2 remaining in the half, David King.
Adam Goods has put himself in the middle of the ground for those last 2 centre clearances, boys, and they were critical. And in a time of need, you need your big man to stand up, and he did. And he's in there again.
Down to the last couple of minutes here in the half. Broughton has got a lot of the ball today. Possession number 15 for him. Inside to McPhee. Couldn't quite get there. Malcheski cut it off. And Malcheski marking defensive 50. Little ball over the top to O'Keefe. For game, juggling attempt over the top, and just regaining their composure here, Sydney. And out of trouble, evasive step there by Craig Bird was impressive. High ball on the head of Kennedy. Hill just pushes McLean under the ball on his wrong right side. Did well to gain some depth in the kick, and there's an example of Nate the Knife Fife's work. Possession number 19 for him. The good and the not so good.
It's just such a different matchup we mentioned before. I mean, that wasn't a great handball, but he's, that was Kieran Jack, which is a tough ask, one-on-one contest in the air with Fife.
Griffin's palm down was extraordinary. The right foot banana off the outside of the boot by Pavlich was inventive. Malcheski hammers it to Goods. Lovely penetrating kick. He immediately wheels onto the right boot. Goes long and high. Here they come. Reid's got to beat a couple. And he just went up like a jack in a box. He went vertical between 2 of them.
You know what did, though? He watched the ball, BT, which sounds simple, but so many players get worried about body work, you know, getting their arms out, knocking their opponent. The great thing about Reid there was he actually just watched the ball, and as you mentioned, just launched at it. Terrific 1 versus 2 mark.
To get it back to single figures on the eve of half-time. Reid didn't spin well. He's kicked the goal. Sydney back within 7 with 15 seconds remaining.
Probably, Jono, their best piece of ball movement. I thought Malcheski marked it. I think it was off the stoppage. Really nice kick to Adam Goods. And Adam, instead of just waiting, just played on. But this is a terrific mark. Really good eyes on the ball. Not a great effort from McFarlane, who's normally very good in those one-on-one contests.
I reckon McFarlane thought that he had enough body pressure on him with Hill in front that he wouldn't be able to get that sort of leap under his belt. But fantastic grab from Reid. And not the best kick, but it doesn't matter how they get there.
Sam Reid gets them within 7. Look at the clock, 14 seconds. Only 3 minutes ago that Fremantle led by 19 points. Back in the middle. There's time for a quick one here with a clean clearance. That ain't going to happen. And the umpires, Brett Ritchie, Robert Finlay and Razor Ray Chamberlain. I'd like to see Razor Ray come toe-to-toe with the Taser man, McPhee. It would be Taser Razor. If that were to happen. Half-time siren sounds. Clock expires. Really good contest here at the SCG in bright sunshine. Plenty hanging on this. 5th spot on the ladder for the winner. 6-3-39 Sydney. Fremantle 7-4-46.